And we're back. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me today. Another episode of the Cello's Way Experience. A lot has been going on, so today we have no guests. I'm gonna hone in on a couple of subjects, and I'm going to express my personal thoughts. There's a lot going on that I'm not particularly happy with, but there's some really, sad things that took place as well. So apparently, the Queen of England passed away, and there's a lot of you know um, mixed feelings in regards to her death. Um,
I'm glad you brought that up.
Faith,
I
did
was
you
going to
did you
ask you.
notice the whole like Meghan Markle going to the
Yeah,
funeral, the way they treated her? It's a lot going on.
it's
A
a
lot.
lot to unpack there,
It
and I'm
is.
so
It
glad you
is.
brought that up because that was going to be my first question to get your perspective of like, it's so much to unpack. Just like looking at the different clips and stuff. Like,
Correct. Yep. I
I don't
gotta
know.
say, I agree. I agree. I feel like there's so much going on there,
Mhm.
and it really, really gives you a clear view on the things that took place in the palace and how some
Yeah.
of what she said, it just gave confirmation to what she said was going on. How the
Yeah.
people chose not to acknowledge her when she went to shake their hands and this and that. It was just a
I
lot going
saw
on.
that
And
clip, and when I saw that clip, I was like, "Are they not like they were looking at her like something was wrong with her? Like, don't
yeah,
touch me." You see the lady
they
put her
gave
hand
her
back.
like a permanent side eye. It was crazy.
I thought that was so weird. I was like, "So wait a minute now. Now the world gets to see this clip. Of course, a lot of people are gonna try to overlook it like it's not there, but it's a lot to unpack there. Like,
Right,
it
right.
shows what she was talking about. It exists. It's real."
Oh yeah, that's why I said it just confirmed all of what she was already saying happened. But then I saw like, whoever her stylist was, they dressed her just like Princess Diana, which I
Yes.
found to be I was like, is that's comical to some extent.
Yes.
Like you guys are trying to be funny now. Same black suit, the red look like a
Exactly.
pin,
Yeah.
like a like flower pin on the lapel of the jacket and the big black church hat and nose. It's very sophisticated appearance, but
Yeah, she looked gorgeous.
she
I
did,
saw
but she
that.
looked like Princess Diana.
Yeah, I was
It was
like,
literally the same look. It's just the pin was different. Um, it's sad. I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of, like I said, mixed feelings, but nonetheless, she still was a grandmother. She still was a mother.
yeah,
And her son, I don't know if he's equipped for the job. I mean, it just seems as though he's having a really hard time,
yeah.
already. He seems frustrated, and there's a lot of speculation that he won't be able to carry the torch. Like, a lot of Caribbean people, are they just they it's safe to say they think the monarch will fall. And I don't think like fall in terms of like, England is going to fall apart. No, it's not that. I
Right.
think what they say the monarch will fall, and they're talking about, the fact that Britain always had reign over Caribbean islands. So they
Mhm.
do feel that now this may be an opportunity for Caribbean islands to be free. They're going
Okay.
to pursue their independence, I guess, at this point. Um,
What do you
I
feel?
hope.
What's your perspective on everything? How do you feel about? What do you think?
I don't feel her son is equipped for the job. He seems to be a little bit rattled,
Right.
But again, his mom just passed away, and he's
Yeah,
also
he's dealing with a
played.
lot too. Yeah.
Right, he played a back seat to all
I'm
of
right, and I'm quite sure there was some
the
heavy shoes.
responsibilities.
There are gonna be some heavy shoes to fill too.
Exactly, because it's not as though, he got a lot of perks just being her son. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So he never really had to do work because she was doing all the work.
And now
So,
she's gone.
just being her
So,
son was enough.
and by her being, God bless her. So, she's gone now. Every little mistake, if he's not doing it or moving the way that
Hmm.
she moved, you know, being that
There's a
jack of
lot
all
of
trades.
judgment that comes with
Yeah.
that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? What do they say with great something comes great responsibility?
He has a lot
I
right
guess
there to fill.
opportunity. You know, great opportunity comes great responsibility. But I wish them the best. Nonetheless, death is death, and it's still painful.
Yeah, because it's so
Speaking of
soon.
death, PNB Rock.
Oh yes. Oh, you know what? I actually I found this clip and I was just like
Yeah, I want to load a clip of his. I guess his brother, PNB Mean. He had posted a while back a photo of them with a bunch of money in their hand. They were jeweled up, and they tagged the valley. I don't
So
know what part of
the clip
California
that
that
I
is.
have is the one where shout out to the blogger here. He
PNBRock was shot down at Roscoe's. Yeah, but there was
yeah.
also a picture of the food, which was the
Yeah.
same picture that was in.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then
So
I want to pull up the picture with the location that was the geolocation that was tagged. And if you
wow.
look at the photo, guys, look at it clearly, you'll see that a location was previously tagged as well.
Yeah, I
And it
seen
was,
the what is it,
yeah, but do
the
we have that
caption?
photo?
No, we don't have that photo. I just have that clip right there that I showed. Not that one in regards to where they tagged show where I guess it was the girlfriend.
Yeah, but I'm not interested in that right now. What I'm
Yeah.
interested in is going back in time and showing people that this is something that's been going on.
Wow.
Okay, this isn't new. This is something they've been doing, and they geolocated where they were.
Mm.
So this is something I really hope that people see. You know,
Yes.
not to be mean, but I don't think he'll live long enough to live up to the legacy of the Queen did. Oh yeah, a lot of people they're speculating the stress
It's
leading
gonna be a
to
lot.
possible suicide. You know what I'm saying? He definitely is having difficulty coping. This isn't going to be an easy transition. With great power comes, yeah, with great power. I said opportunity, but power. Yes, great power comes with great
There are gonna be
responsibility.
a lot of shoes and no more just sitting behind the scenes and then being able to enjoy everything because it's a lot of shoes to fill.
Faith, check your text.
Okay.
Um, I really wanted you guys to see this particular photo um, on PNB Means page. It was from November 16th, 2021, when he tagged the location. You guys go to the photo. He has money in his hand. He has chains on. And I wanted you guys to understand that all the blame has been shifted to his girlfriend. Now, granted,
Yeah.
he probably did, you know, reiterate on multiple occasions, don't share the locations. However, Instagram also recently changed how they geolocate down to the point where, before it used to be more of a general location. So if you
Right.
put that you were in Atlanta, it would just say Atlanta. But it went as far as to now putting in exact location, like the street, everything. Um, this was like a
And you
big
know
thing
what?
too.
Instagram and what a lot like really Instagram is the streets right now. When you think about Instagram, it's basically the streets. You
I
got to
mean,
be
I wouldn't
safe.
call it the streets. I
It's
feel like it it's another world. It
it's
can't be the
another
streets.
world. My
It's another
perspective is just
world.
like the streets because in the streets you're gonna move a certain way.
Right,
You're
but
gonna be
this is the
careful.
streets. The streets are different. There's still uh, a code that goes with the streets. There's no code with social media. There's
In a
no
lot of
code with the
areas, in
internet.
a lot of areas though, my perspective is people don't even really go by the codes no more. The reason I'm saying when you think of Instagram being the streets, from my perspective, you got to be careful a lot of things that you do. You got to be careful the way that you move. It's a new
I
era.
mean, everybody, yeah, I'm pretty sure they're all
Yeah,
aware of that. But someone who grew up in the streets, I just don't compare it. It's not comparable to me. Not entirely. People say that
yeah.
because they just need something to run with. I'm telling you now, Instagram, social media, period, is its own world. If you think about the internet and the dark web, that's exactly what it is. It's like internet, like social media
And the
has now
dark
become
web is
the
damn near
dark
the
web.
streets. You know the dark web is horrible. It's people
Yeah,
have
it's it's
so
it's
much
it's it's
information there.
literally the lowest of the low, things that can't be witnessed on regular internet servers. You can't live in a certain lifestyle and not be
Yep.
vigilant. Hell, you can't even live your life without being vigilant because people will
Mhm.
just kill you for the shits and giggles while
Yep.
others do it for money. No, I agree 100%. I feel like this wasn't a shits and giggles move. I felt like it was a money move. I don't feel like that girl was solely responsible for how
Oh
he was
no,
ran
they
down
shouldn't.
upon.
Yeah,
I
no.
feel like he's been doing this. His family and friends have been doing this. That's why it's important for you guys to see this photo as soon as we get it uploaded. I want you guys to take a look. Then go to that page and tap. the geolocation and see when you zoom in how accurate it is. Now, I highly doubt that, whoever did this got the drop through social media. I don't think that's the case. Because if you think about it, why would a criminal spend all that time being on social media? They're criminals. They got better things to do than to stare at people on social media. But they will answer a phone if they get a call. I do very well believe that someone contacted someone in regards to his presence in that restaurant. And I think that an easy throw was the girl.
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't necessarily feel that's how it happened. You got jack boys that ride around all day waiting for a lick.
Waiting
And that's
for a lick.
exactly what probably happened. Because if you think about the time between the post and whenever the person got there, they already cleared that people will hate you for success and kill you for prospering. Yeah, I'm aware, yeah. But they had already said that he posted something and she
First.
reposted it.
Yep, first. Like in the
You know what
back
I'm
of
saying?
the
So that's what I'm
restaurant.
saying. She's already not guilty for anything because if he was the first one that did it and she followed suit, she probably did it because she thought it was okay to do. The thing about it is he also had done an interview prior to this, just discussing the fact that there was a lot of crime and violence going on in LA and how people just, kind of target you based on success. The thing about it is a lot of people tend to forget that although you make money, money does not make you invisible. Money does not make you untouchable. Money does not make you, safe in any form. I mean, why would you even believe that? I mean, if anything, money makes you a target,
Yeah.
and people need to hold on to the fact that they're not far from being a target as long as they're successful. Hold on to that thought. Make it a point to understand that there's always someone who wants to take from you the more you gain because that's just the world we live in. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? We come from a world where mankind has a way of taking from others to build for themselves. Penguins do it when they build nests. You have one building a nest and the other one taking rocks to build his. It's no different than a white person, you know, um, taking people from the islands that they come from and turning them into slaves. It's literally the equivalent of that. Um, so if you know that those things can happen, and this is just
He
human
said he
human
thought.
nature, why would you think that someone isn't going to take from you? Someone said he thought they were moving funny, like they were plotting on him. Yeah, he disclosed this already. He had
Right.
already disclosed. I'm still waiting on the clip, guys. Don't worry. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm referring to. And again, not on PNBRock's page, not on his girlfriend's page. PNB Mean, I'm assuming is his brother, like they said on the blogs. I mean, I'm not familiar because I didn't really follow his music well, but nonetheless, 30 years old, being gunned down in a restaurant. And then on top of that, that being recorded, because I saw the recording of him on the floor in a pool of blood, and I just thought that that
That
was
is so
extremely painful to
sad.
watch. I was like,
Wow.
damn, this is like
I
the
couldn't even watch
YNC.
it. I didn't even want to watch it. I
Yeah, do
just
we
was
have that
like,
clip yet, Faith?
yeah, yeah. Give me a second. Hold on, let me show this comment right here. Somebody just sent this to you.
I feel like a lot of these rappers do and don't lead do wait don't do and don't do leads to their demise. These rappers rap so much about shooting people and out to kill them. Yeah, I mean, I think that there is some responsibility that has to be taken in regards to the music that you put out there. Because
Okay,
people
let me go.
believe in your music, that's why they buy it. So if you're telling lies in your music, you won't have the same crowd, right? Like, but rappers when they get arrested for committing crimes, i.e., Young Gunna, Young Thug, they immediately revert to, oh no, I'm just storytelling. Which one is it? Which one is it?
Yeah,
You know what I'm
it's a
saying? It
lot.
goes from, oh no, I'm just telling a story to no, I really move like that to someone actually being gunned down. And now it's like, wow, that's not fair. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to understand and trying to get people to understand that it goes full circle and all of it contributes to, violence in the rap game. Um, let's just throw that clip up. I want you guys to see this real
Gotcha.
quick. So if you guys look, see how it says PNB Mean, that's his brother. He says Rock and Mean, we live in the dream. And then he's holding money, he's got the chain. If you guys look at the top of the photo, it says The Valley. I tapped on that, right?
Oh, you tapped on
I
it.
tapped on it on purpose. That's in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
That's in Los Angeles. So again, we're not going to stay on this subject too long because it's such a heavy topic. Death is
Yeah.
always heavy. It's just unfortunate that we lost another, young rapper. And someone said like you should be ready for someone to try you when you target like people died in the same reason before he died, and so why not? Right. And it's almost like,
Yeah.
I always believe that a person learns from the mistakes of others. That's the best way to learn. That's a wise
Yeah.
move. But most people tend to feel that they're exempt from certain scenarios, like, oh, that can't happen to me. As long as you're human and as long as you're breathing and you got flesh and blood, you're not exempt from anything. You're
Mm-mm.
not. Just like last week's show, we had a young woman that explained having AIDS. She wasn't exempt from that. And she was around many celebrities. Not exempt. No one is. So
And
please
shout
keep in
out to
mind that.
Gina because
Shout out to Gina too.
her testimony has actually, when I looked at a lot of the messages that you got,
Mm-hmm.
she's actually made a lot of people from her
Come forward
story come forward,
and go
and
get
they
tested.
really
Right.
appreciated your interview. So
Right.
kudos to you. Kudos to
Yeah. Shout out
you.
to Gina for giving people the strength they need to move forward and not be
They
afraid to get
loved your
tested.
interview, Chella. They was just like, you made her so comfortable. They had not seen her smile in a while, and they took her testimony. It was so many people that basically said they took her testimony, and now they feel like they can open up. They're not scared because she's not afraid. So I just
Mm-hmm.
thought that was so awesome. So really, I really thought that was so awesome. For other people
Well,
that's
they say
watching
when
the
you're good at what you
show,
do, you make people feel good. So,
yeah,
you
they
know.
were watching the show and they said that you made her smile. She felt comfortable
I'm
with
so
you.
glad. She
Yeah,
deserves it. She deserves it. Everyone does. But
yeah,
condolences out to the royal family and condolences to PNBRock's family. Again,
yeah,
we highlight the intricacies
yeah,
within the matter, and we tend to dissect it, but it doesn't change the outcome, which is the end
right.
result of him. Just he passed. So
Somebody
like I
just
said
said something
again,
about PNB Rock. They
even though
said
we've
he
been conditioned to hate each other, it's now our responsibility to end the cycle and rebuild the culture on all levels. Rest in paradise to PNB Rock. Oh
rest
no,
in
I
peace.
truly agree. That was definitely. A lot of these rap artists think they're having security makes them soft, and that can save your life. Oh, 1,000%. I mean,
Yeah,
honestly, if you're going to be in the streets and you're going to travel the world being a successful artist, knowing that people are going to target you, yes, security is a must. And a lot of people hold on to that. I used to be a street dude. I was a gangster. This is a different realm, different beast. The beef that you have here ain't gonna be street shit. It's gonna be more financial. Like it's gonna be
yeah.
people trying to get in your pockets and ruin your opportunities. But hopefully one day they wake up and see, yeah, don't say you're about it. Yeah. It's rough. I think it's a slippery slope and a lot of people tend to get things
Rest in peace to
confused.
him. Yeah. And I
Um,
know his family and everybody, condolence to his family because everybody's going through so much. It's
yeah,
just
it's a
so
lot.
much in
It's a
the
lot.
news, a lot to unpack with everything. Like,
Hmm. I feel bad. Truly I do. I really do.
yeah.
But moving
Let's
forward,
let's move forward because you have so much to unpack
so
tonight.
much to talk about.
I got something I want to ask you about because you in NY. I want to ask your perspective of how you feel about Mary Adams. I guess he was. I have a clip where he's like showing everyone that it's okay to drink the water. So
Yeah, there
I
was
want your
a lot of
perspective on that.
issues at
And shout
Jacob
out to
Reese
New York
houses. Adam
Post.
shows up at Nitrogen Complex to drink water and shows it's safe. Now, in order to be able to pull a move like this, you have to gain the trust of the people. If people don't trust you, they're not going to follow you. You know, I don't know if he's trying to come in with this whole Pied Piper effect
Hmm.
from this particular culture, black and brown people. Um, Nobody's buying that. That water is not safe to drink. People have proven that. Even after he visited, they said the water still had issues. It was still
Mm,
brown. It just didn't seem safe. And for him to encourage drinking tap water, knowing it has nominal amounts of fluoride in it, because that's
yeah,
what floats around in New York City water. And then they turn around and say things like, oh, it's good for your teeth. If you pour tap water on a piece of metal and just let it run,
Mhm.
you'll see that within time it will develop rust. Now, granted, metal tends to galvanize whenever water is involved,
Mhm.
but with New York City tap water is completely different. You'll see other things, white, green.
In the water.
You'll see the metal start
Ugh.
to develop.
And
You
so
know what I'm
I'm
saying?
looking
If
at
you
the clip
even
and I'm
look
like,
in your
what is he? What water
toilets,
is he drinking? Like, why
I
is he?
don't know. He said he drank it from the tap, but
Well,
I
he
don't
must have,
really know.
you know.
All I'm gonna say is this: if you look in your toilet bowl, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, pretty much. If you look in your toilet bowl, you probably will see a ring. A lot of people will say, "Oh, I cleaned the toilet. There's still a
Yes,
ring there.
you
There's still a
do.
ring there."
Yes.
The ring is a clear indication that that water is hard water. That water is being treated. That water has things in it, metals. That's
Yes.
why you'll see, and it's not dirt. It's usually, if you try to scrub it and can't get it out, it's a rust stain from the water. It is. I've done research. So, I just hope that, like with all the companies that produce water, especially these high alkaline companies, people have options. It's just unfortunate because for those that don't have the ability to leave home and go food shopping on a regular basis and have bottles
Yeah.
of water available, they're the ones that are going to suffer the most. So the disabled, the elderly,
That's what I
et
was.
cetera, et cetera.
That's what I was
I'm
just
not
thinking.
particularly a fan of Mayor Eric Adams. I feel like he does more showboating than politics. He makes excuses for a lot of his behavior. He tries to justify his actions. Cutting the school budgets for New York City public schools. I felt like that was a little bit extreme considering they're already broke. So where's New York City money going? We got to do a whole breakdown probably next week on that. Figure out what you
Right.
guys are getting from the president and how you're dispersing this money. And then not
Yeah.
only that, he was talking recently about putting greenhouses that grow marijuana on NYCHA building.
Oh yeah.
And they
You
went
know
on to
what?
say that the plan was bullshit. Only because if you think about it, why would you put a greenhouse on top of a building that probably still is not structurally sound and needs
Right.
repairing? You won't fix the apartments, on a timely fashion, but you'll put a fucking greenhouse on the roof
What's
to
up
grow
with
weed.
that?
And I read an article about it, and they said, water and soil is extremely heavy. How did you think that that wouldn't fall through the ceilings of a building?
Yeah, and you know what? And that I seen it. It was an article from Forbes.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
spoke about Eric Adams. I guess,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, has an idea to grow marijuana on top of the New York City public housing.
Yeah.
Did I
He's
read that
just
right?
he's another politician, man. That's what I see here. Just another politician. I don't care what color he is. It's unfortunate. I prefer Cuomo as a governor. As far as mayor, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Or
I'm
somebody else?
just, I'm not content with his work. I hope that, toward the end of the year, he makes a more positive change because he thinks he's doing it for the benefit of the city.
Mhm.
I've heard stories because I've asked around. You
Mhm.
know, Harlem is flooded with drug users. That's
Mhm.
crazy. Like it's getting to the point where like 25th, which is 125th Street, um, is covered with recovering addicts, current active addicts,
Mhm.
um, homelessness,
Yeah.
things of that nature, things that make it unsafe to live and work. But yet and still, I remember toward the summer, last summer, there was issues where homeless men were looking for places to stay, so they were trying to put them in hotels or old hotels in
Mhm.
like closer to Midtown, and those
Mhm.
people fought tooth and nail to make sure it didn't happen.
Mhm.
So what did he do? He just shifted them another 40 blocks up into Harlem. You know what I'm saying? Say somebody said, so if they do that, what about the people in jail for that? People in jail for what?
I don't know.
I don't
It
know.
just came up. Uh.
Um, but yeah, he just kind of shifted them up the road, so it's like homeless shelters,
Somebody's talking
recovery
about the
centers.
water to you. They talking about the contaminated
Oh,
water.
the water has been contaminated since day one, in my opinion. Look at the school water fountains as well as yeah. Whenever you see nominal amounts of rust like that, like copious amounts of rust, you know that there's a good chance that there's an issue, not just the metal, but the water. And people think, oh, like, water and metal, once they come together, you'll have rust. that takes time to build, but usually there's elements in the water that speed up the process.
Yeah,
I
somebody
didn't
said
read that
that's how
last
the
comment. She
toilets
said that's
was
how the
at the.
toilet is at my job look. But yeah, you know, not particularly a fan. You know, I'm praying for New York City. I gotta say,
Yeah.
man. But then speaking of like changes and laws and mayors and governors, Illinois passed a law recently.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
All I could say was, oh my goodness, like,
Yeah. A
and
lot of
when
people called it the purge law. Um when I saw the list of crimes that they were going to release them for, because they said that, I guess I don't know if the jails are full. I don't know what the deal is. You know what I'm saying? But I just don't see how this is supposed to bring about a positive result. I don't see it being
like
possible.
how, like the people that you're letting out, like I don't get it. Like, why would you do that when people are like fighting every day just to survive? And
Yeah, yeah,
so somebody just
100%.
said, the other person that made the post, I guess he was talking about marijuana. He said that, so if they do that, what about the people in jail for that? And then he said,
Oh yeah, no, but he
marijuana.
already said that the people that were in prison for marijuana would have a front seat to licensing and growing, and they would automatically have jobs. You want to hire the people that you put in jail before for doing what they did, and now you want to
That's
use
so
their
backward.
skill. That's basically what that means. You know what I'm saying? Those are the most skilled people, right? The ones that went to jail for
Yeah.
doing it against the law.
Got another message. Got another comment.
Someone said they shouldn't have done that. The crime rate in Chicago is already high. So this is called. They said on this will begin January 1st, 2023. Hopefully they have time to overturn this.
That's what I'm
Um,
praying for the people out there.
yeah, they said Illinois will take its place in history and will become the first state to test out the purge in real life. They said that ironically named the Safety Act will charge and release criminals without cash bail for 12 now non-detainable offenses. These offenses include second-degree murder, aggravated battery, arson, drug-induced homicide, kidnapping, burglary, robbery, intimidation, aggravated DUI, aggravated fleeing and eluding, drug offenses, and threatening a public official. Ain't that crazy?
That's
And if
crazy.
you guys think I'm lying, take a look for yourself. Oh, the light is
They're not
bright.
gonna see it. Mm-mm.
I don't know.
Tell them
Try
where
to
they have
work.
to go to get it. What
You
page is
guys
it
have to
on?
go to Recession Money on Instagram. Hopefully you can see it there. But then it was also on some of the blogs. You know what I'm saying? That sounds scary. To be honest with you, all of those charges to me sound like a charge based on some really really real shit. Like I don't see anyone getting a second-degree murder charge and being a sweet person. Like, oh, I won't do it again.
Yeah, like, man, and when I watched the clip and I seen the I guess the city official stating that if someone was the I guess break into a shed or something like that, it's nothing that they can do other than give somebody a
A
ticket.
ticket, yeah,
I thought that was
yeah.
so weird. Like,
I'm like, you gonna let somebody give a ticket for almost killing them? You gonna give someone a ticket for almost killing someone?
I just is like the
For
crime rate.
burglary? So they robbed my house.
They can still sit there. You have to go through your own uh uh I guess walk to get them out. They can't remove them. Only give them a ticket.
Mm.
Allegedly, that's what was, stated like within the clip, and I was like, wow.
I'm praying for the people of Illinois. I'm pretty sure a lot of them will move before 2023, just in case things.
Yeah, like
Hmm.
you had some
Imagine someone
comment.
wanting to go after someone. They'll practice one of those.
So you have another comment
They said those are felony charges. Oh, for sure, for sure.
and another comment.
Yeah. I mean, we'll probably ask some people from Illinois some questions in regards to that and get their take on it. Hopefully they'll be alive to tell the story.
Somebody said get out of Illinois as fast as you can.
Yeah, get out of there as soon as you can, man. But I wanted to talk about a book that my friend found in her book collection for her kids. She's
Okay.
not familiar with where this book came from. It must have been her mom, who happens to be a Christian. And when I read it, I found it to be really disturbing because I feel like children have already been exposed to too much. The book is called Pro Life Kids. If you guys haven't heard about it, please Google it and read their mission statement in regards to the production of the book. It's a husband and wife. They own the publishing company as well as being authors, and they started this book. It's called Pro Life Kids, but you know, I feel
How do
like
you feel about it? Wait a minute, you breathing like that. It's deep. Let me hear it.
yeah, I think that children having to worry about the thought of making an adult decision so early only catapults them into adulthood. I feel like children have already seen enough, they've heard enough, they're doing enough. I
Yeah.
don't know how much more we need to expose them to. People say, oh, we need to have talks with our kids. Yeah, you need to have age appropriate conversations with them.
Exactly. At the right, let them be
But
a
you don't
kid.
expose them to certain thoughts because you know that the child's mind, their
Gets to
imagination
wonder.
runs wild. They're kids. They don't understand the sense of responsibility yet. And until they grasp that, they shouldn't have to be burdened with the thought of thinking like an adult. Because experience is what makes adults be a little bit more conscious of the decisions that they make. When children are bestowed with a responsibility of thinking like adults, they make mistakes doing that.
Yeah.
So, because of the fact that children are already out there being sexually active at really young ages, they're being vaccinated for STDs, like HPV, things like that. They're being handed out condoms. Now, granted, kids were always having sex. That's true. It's been
Yeah.
going on for many, many years, but I feel like children are getting younger and younger with the idea of being exposed to any type of sexuality. You got the trans, you got the everything. They throw it right in front of these children, and they say that they're trying to educate. No, that's not the right word. We're not educating here. You guys are exposing. That's not education. These children don't need to know that right now. Children should be allowed to be children and not be burdened with that responsibility. So, this is the book, Pro Life Kids. You guys take a look, right? And I'm just gonna read one page out of the book so you guys get an idea. So it's written by Bethany Baumberger. She's the writer of the book. She also owns the publishing company, like I said.
Somebody
And
left you a comment about what you were just talking about, Chella.
they should allow your children to let them know when they're ready to learn. Oh, of course, of course. But you see, the thing about it is, some people, they take it upon themselves to shove information in front of their children before they feel other people can get to them. But the best thing you could do is kind of close certain things off to children until they're ready to handle it. I don't think it's, oh, let me get to this kid and stuff them with information and have them think the way I need them to think before someone else gets to them. Now you're being selfish because then you can't tell them they should have freedom to think and then be the one to manipulate their thought process. That doesn't make sense. You know, so I'm just gonna read a particular passage. They said you're a person, it's true, even before your birth. So they show a picture, right? Right? And then they go on to use examples of the Holocaust and slavery to explain the fact that people are people and they all deserve to be here. Then they have a picture of an abortion center. Okay? This is all in this book. Somebody said, so in one of the pages it says, today many think that lie is still true, that babies in wombs aren't people too. Abortion is when some say it's okay to take that baby's precious life away. I don't know how many people out there have young kids, daughters especially. No mother wants to know that their daughter is pregnant and doesn't have the option to be free and live her life.
Right.
It's so painful to know that your child is even actively having sex without your permission, without your knowledge, without your guidance. But to tell a child that getting an abortion is wrong, all for the sake of pro life, and I use that word in different context. Last week I used pro life in regards to Gina because pro life actually means the right to life. People have the right to be here. That's true. But if your daughter is 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, even 18, they're still too young to know what it's like to deal with raising a child.
Yeah.
That sense of responsibility is so overwhelming that I don't feel like a child should be burdened with that. A lot of girls tend to hurt their children because they're not ready for it. So to sit there and make a book to convince children that if they ended up in a scenario like that, to move forward with having a child, did you ever consider that maybe that child could die? They could literally lose their life while giving birth.
It's too
Did it
young.
ever
Like,
occur to you that maybe that baby won't have a fair chance? They're telling people, oh, give kids up for adoption. Since when are foster homes ever safe? How many cautionary tales have you heard in regards to foster care situations, children being abused, even in
soon as they
adoptive
go there, as soon
situations?
as they're like they're having more issues once they land there, then it's like
Yeah, it is engineered. Somebody said it was engineered to carry out their agenda. Of course, 100%. 100%. I agree 100%. It's just unfortunate. And it's just so crazy that this book ended up in my friend's
somebody just
collection.
said this. If a child, you see it,
Can't take care of themselves, even of age, to work. How can they take care of a
she
baby?
nailed whoever that person is, like,
It's rough. I feel
and that's what
like I
I
said
didn't
again,
understand. Chell, I just want to say this right quick. This is my perspective. 11-year-old, God forbid something like that happened. They're not old enough to drink. They're not old enough to drive. They're not old enough to get a job.
yeah.
But they're old enough to have a kid. Like how? Like I pray that
You
everyone
have
has.
to be 16 to be emancipated in the state of New York. And
Yes.
in order to be emancipated, you have to prove that you can take care of yourself entirely before the judge can grant that. Oh, Destiny. So I just get your J shirt. Um, you have to be able to prove that in New York State at 16. You have to have a job. You have to already have an apartment. You
Yeah.
have to have all of these things in place. Oh yeah, it's a Christian point of view book. Oh, 100%. 100%. Um, so when you think about it, at 16, unless you're like on YouTube and selling NFTs and you're like popular on social media and you're a TikToker, you're not making millions of dollars. How the hell do you expect a 16-year-old to get an apartment? You have to be 18 typically, unless they get it in someone else's name. And at 16, what kind of job do you see yourself getting because you have no education to find yourself in a better position to get a better job? So now they're already overwhelmed with all this responsibility they have to take on, finding a place to live. They have to get a job. Now, if you have this baby, you're out of work for some time to take care of
Yes.
this baby, right?
Yeah.
Again, I feel like they just sweep the rug from underneath them and didn't tell them figure it out. That's such a bad way to put it to a child. It's just I don't I could never see a child being able to successfully do that without any hiccups. Like, you have some responsible moms out there that had kids at a very young age, but that doesn't make it any less complicated. It just means that they found a way to get through. Some
Right.
make it, some don't. And it's sad because they do it at the expense of the child's life. And that should never be the case. And it's so unfortunate because they know that half of these babies they're being abused, they're being hurt, when the parents don't want them. Look at the woman who recently drowned her 3 children in Brooklyn, in
Oh
Coney
my
Island.
God.
She went on to complain, and they knew she had a history of mental health issues, and she drowned 3 of her kids. Again, life can be overwhelming. Not all the time does a person show signs of mental health. Sometimes they snap. They have a breaking point. Children tend to put us there with the crying, the neediness. You know what I'm saying? Being a mother is a serious, serious responsibility. It's one of the hardest jobs you'll ever have in your life. I don't care what anyone says. I'd rather run 10 marathons than have another kid because that's how hard it is. I only have one, but that's by choice. I knew I didn't have what it took to have multiple kids. I knew I wasn't strong enough for it. I had one, and I said, okay, I'm putting this down. It's not for me. And let's be real, these are people that I bet are okay with those child brides enforcing religion. Of course. And then from a historical context, you got to think about it. Children have been groomed to be prepared for marriage at a very young age in most of these cultures, right?
Mhm.
Somebody said we have to pull all our cards on the table and start the process one by one, each one. Yeah, each one, of course. So, when you think about it, you know, um, like I said again, from a historical standpoint, a lot of children were groomed at a very young age to understand that once they hit puberty, they would be married off. So children were ready for sex from a young age because their cultures, whatever cultures in particular, that support that kind of stuff, they definitely they were prepared. But more
And it's
so,
so
I want to
scary.
say
And
that
I think about just like let these kids, my perspective, I feel, let them be kids. Let them
right,
enjoy.
right. In certain cultures, children aren't meant to stay children though. They
They're not,
use
yeah.
them for whatever they need them for. Like most of the time it's breeding.
Mm.
Let's be real, breeding. Most of the time, these young girls that are married off as young as 11 and 12 years old, as soon as they hit puberty, to an older man at that, are put in place to become a wife, to have children, that jet set right into a life of responsibility. Again, to me, unfair. I feel like every child should have the opportunity to live out their life and decide when the time is right for them. You got some dumb kids out there that go and get pregnant. I want the baby, and fight tooth and nail to keep it just so they can keep the guy or the girl, whatever the case may be. And I hope for the best. Sometimes it blows in their face. Sometimes they make it out successful. Again, because they're like I said, this can go so many different directions. Leave it up to the parents involved. Let them decide when the time is right to talk to their children about sex, to talk to their children about the right to life and pro-choice, et cetera, et cetera. So moving on from the book, again, you guys want to check it out, prolifekids.com by Bethany Baumberger. And, I found it to be a little disturbing only because I feel like exposing children to that at a young age is a little bit much. But again, you can read it for yourself and come up with your own opinion. I'm not here to force someone into interpretation.
Right. And she's only giving this is her
I'm only giving my
perspective.
perspective. I'm not going to ever tell someone how to think. Feel
Yes.
free to read it yourself.
So,
um Moving forward. I'm not done yet.
oh, we have
There's
so much
just
to unpack.
Yeah, I ain't done. I think we're gonna go a little past 10 tonight.
You got like, give me one moment. You got a couple of comments in regards to the conversation you were just having now.
Okay.
Let me get that up there for you. It's just coming in. Let me see. Here you
Thank
go.
you guys for tuning in and being active.
Yeah, we
And
love
these
that.
mainly are religious based. I feel that it's because of look at Mary with Jesus and not religious. Of course, but then they went on to say that Mary Magdalene was a virgin, et cetera, et cetera. But she was pregnant though. Surely
Right.
pregnant. TV got showcased, of course. Of course. Oh yes, really quickly, just want to throw this in there really quickly also. Jesse Powell. Condolences
Oh,
to his
rest in
family
peace.
as well. He recently passed too. Very young, only
My
51 years
favorite
old.
song. I always said, okay,
You had to be
listen,
one
that
of
is gonna
what
be,
beautiful. He
yes,
had a
that's gonna
phenomenal
be my
voice.
song. That's gonna
He
be the
had a
song that I play at the
phenomenal
wedding.
voice. Yeah,
Oh my
Jesse Powell
God.
had a beautiful voice, but they said that he was reportedly gay. They didn't go into the details of his death. We don't know. It's mysterious. It's a mystery. So,
God
again,
bless his soul.
condolences
Rest
to the
in peace.
family.
Yes. He was so talented, man.
He was. Um, man, I'm not laughing at the death. No, 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 no. Don't confuse it.
No,
I'm
yeah, no,
laughing
I know you
because
got a
there's just
message.
so much to talk about. Now, I want to talk about Halle Bailey. Halle Bailey taking on the role of the Little Mermaid, and Someone said you must have been a philosopher in the past life, sharper than a samurai sword. Yes, that is Chela.
And rest in peace. Yeah, somebody just said rest in peace to him. So rest in peace to him. Rest in peace
Yeah,
to
rest in
everyone
peace to
that
Jesse
passed away
Powell,
this
man.
week, because this week has been like,
Yeah, they say it comes in threes.
yeah. So
They say it comes in threes. Queen, PNB, Jesse Powell. Hopefully, we can close off the year without any more deaths.
yeah.
But Halle Bailey, I don't know if you guys saw the comments in regards to the backlash she received on YouTube. 1.2 million dislikes for the trailer of The Little Mermaid.
Oh my goodness.
Really painful to watch. Disney's Little Mermaid trailer gets 1.5 million dislikes on
Yeah.
YouTube. Halle Bailey receives extreme racist backlash. I don't know if you guys actually scrolled through that thread. It was racism at its finest, I guess. You know, I saw one where they went as far as to put the Lil Mermaid, DALIL Mermaid, with box braids. Then they showed like a funny looking cartoon with watermelon. Like they were doing everything in their power to dissect this project because they were so dissatisfied with the fact that Little Mermaid was black. Halle Bailey can sing her ass off.
Just on you like, why be so mean? Like,
Yeah,
what's the?
but guess what? All of those comments won't ever negate from the fact that that movie's going to drop
And
May of
everyone is gonna.
23.
Oh my God,
Yeah, it's coming out. It's
it's
coming out.
gonna
Just
be
deal
a
with it.
top.
It's
Oh
dropping.
yes, it's
And
dropping.
then we're gonna go into a little bit of history about mermaids since y'all got so much opinion. Speaking of Haley, I saw a video on TikTok that you would have liked, something related to what was spoken on your live early. Oh well, thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, active. Yes, sis. Rosa, thank you for tuning in, sis. Thank you, Abby. Um, Halle Bailey and her sister have been acting for a very long time. They're not new to this. They've
They're
done
not
films
new.
since they were small children. Um, she's only to me expanding on her talent. She's a beautiful girl, beautiful voice. She deserves an opportunity like this. Disney has catered to enough of the white demographic. At this point, it's our turn. But I'm just gonna go a little bit deeper. Again, historical context. Um,
Protect our queens.
oh yeah, yep, I agree. The historical context here is if you did research on mermaids and you wanted to get technical, because they're getting technical. Oh no, they shouldn't have redone it. First of all, I've seen a remake of The Little Mermaid in China. There's a Chinese version of it a couple years ago. Really good film. The graphic effects were amazing. All these other cultures imitated. But because Disney's behind this project, it's become an issue because they know that there's no stopping this train. There's no stopping it. Another 1,000 points for Black people. But more so, this, I want to go back in time. Mermaids were actually sirens, to be honest, right? Never meant to be attractive and not of any color, okay? Not of any color, not black, not white. They're not our color. They're not human color. They exist, very much so. And if you want to get technical, they all dominated in the Caribbean islands. So if you want to be real, wouldn't Ariel be black anyway, Faith? If mermaids all came from the Caribbean islands, they
Yes.
dominate,
Yes.
right? Technically, right?
Yes.
She would be black anyway, right?
Yes.
Because guess
Like
who lives in the fucking Caribbean islands? Black people.
they're
Okay?
first. Like
So if you guys think I'm joking, please do a lot of research. Go on YouTube, go Google. Well, some of this stuff might be debunked. But Faith and I actually witnessed something earlier today. Shout out to my homeboy Ramel. He put me on. He
also he
sent
sent
me
the clip.
huh? Oh
He
yeah. Well, did you upload it?
no, I couldn't. I didn't upload it. By the time you
Okay.
sent it, it was too late. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Sauce
Well,
90.
make sure
So
you tell them where to go at to get it to watch it.
yeah. So
Yes.
Sauce 90 had a TikTok account. Now, I know we went straight from the Little Mermaid straight into mermaid mythology, but we're just going to touch it real quick because it's such an interesting subject. I did see an episode. I'm going to watch it in its entirety later on about something that took place in Antarctica, a vicious mermaid attack. And they have this on video. They documented every step of it. And the evidence has been proven to be true. But not just that. This young man, Sauce 90, had a TikTok account. And I'm assuming
Mm-hmm.
he had a large amount of followers.
Mm-hmm.
And he documented his life while working on a ship. Now, if you guys ever did research on mermaids, aka sirens, they spent a lot of their time luring men by sound. That's where the word siren comes from. Now, this young man documented every step of the way. Someone said really quickly, and they want to be mad at Disney for taking the Grimm brothers' tale and turning it into a fantasy and fooling them. Of course, there was a lot of truth behind that too. It's very much like they try to make it seem like a Sherlock Holmes sort of thing. I remember that. But really quickly, I just want to fill you guys in. Source 90 documented his experiences on the boat, working on a boat, etc., etc. I hope you guys take a time out to go to YouTube and put in Source 90 mermaid. Immediately, you will see at least 4 or 5 TikTok videos
Yes.
compiled into one clip. And on more than one occasion, this man witnessed it by sound and by sight. You saw it yourself, right, Faith?
When that by the time you sent it to me, we was gonna go live at 9. Just a couple minutes that I was able to watch, it was so intriguing. I was like, I hear that noise, and yo,
It was not the sound of a dolphin.
no, and then
Dolphins,
whatever was in the water was not like it was.
yeah, dolphins use echolocation and things of that nature. They make a specific noise,
That sound like a woman, like someone
a
screaming. Or
singing sound. It was like a
yes,
high octave stretch. I'm like, this bitch could blow.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, but I see like why they have that tune in the Little Mermaid, that and it just keeps going up an octave because like that's exactly what I heard in the video.
oh my goodness,
Anyway, long story short, like I said, I'm gonna let you guys see it for yourself. Source 90. He went on to document. He threw a crab in the water. Something threw it back on the boat.
see, I didn't get to what like at that time when I seen that part. It was time
I
for the
saw
show
it.
to start,
I saw it.
and I was
He
just
threw
like,
it in the
remember, I
water
was
and
like,
they
no,
threw
I
it
gotta
right back
watch
on the
this
boat.
later because what did I just see?
It's mind blowing, and there's no way that this can be photoshopped. I don't care what anyone says. This man didn't have time to do that. He was on a fucking boat. Okay, so moving forward,
Look at your comment.
someone said sirens luring creatures that entice their prey by beautiful, mesmerizing sounds. Absolutely, absolutely, and that's why pirates were so deathly afraid of it, because once you were in that trance by sound, there was no coming out of it. You were food. That was that. Um, Whatever it was followed him all the way to the port. And
Yes,
he was there with someone and they heard it as well. He said, "Do you hear that?" The gentleman said, "Yep." He
he
said, "Do
was
you know
just
what that
like,
is?" He said, "I sure do." They were familiar already. She followed him, or he, or whatever it was,
he said that.
followed
He
him.
said, I think she followed me.
Yeah. No, he said, "That bitch followed me."
Oh yeah, that's what he said.
He was a hood dude, tattooed up, all that. You mean to tell me that somebody from the hood got time to believe? No, this is real stuff. Um, he said toward the end of the entire clip that his TikTok was banned for
What?
sharing these videos. Now, mind you, watching these videos, I didn't witness one violation of their guidelines. He's on a boat.
So let
He's
me ask you
showing
a
stuff that's going on
question.
in the
So
water.
when they banned it, did they remove the clip too?
They banned the account, so the account is invisible at all. It's gone.
Oh my
They
God.
deleted the account. It's banned from TikTok. So the next day, the government shows up to the boat,
To his boat.
to his boat, and they come with all these uh, containers that say
Mhm.
scientific
Mhm.
experiment, da 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 da.
Mhm.
And he ends it like that. He says, "Hey guys, the government's on my boat. I'm legit not lying, da da da." And then so I don't know how long ago this was, but I know it's constantly being shared on YouTube. And what I do know is that there's no trace of this gentleman right now.
It's
Someone said, "I deeply feel like sirens are women because why would they be why would they be men if the men are the primary praise?" Oh, 100% sure. That it doesn't fall short of the fact though they still need a male counterpart. Now there could very well be that there's a lot of myths behind it. See, I did a lot of research today. I spent a lot of time making phone calls to people I knew were from the islands as well, just like my
hmm
family. And I proceeded to ask, did you guys ever hear stories about Flatbridge in Jamaica, St. Catherine, Jamaica, a specific place called Flatbridge?
hmm
Everyone, and I mean everyone, there's not one person that I talked to that was Jamaican
hmm
that did not agree with the fact that there were mermaid sightings at Flatbridge. Okay? Now, mind you, Flatbridge was built on the backs of slaves, owned by Freemasons. These slaves died, they were tortured, they lost their lives in the process of building this bridge. So it's said that the slaves transformed into sea creatures, etc., and they dominate the water. This is the myth. I'm not 100% sure if that's entirely the reasoning, but do I believe that there's mermaid sightings there? Oh, 100%. Only because people are definitely afraid to go over that bridge.
hmm
There's no railings on that bridge, and structurally, it's possible to put railings. However, every single time they've built them,
hmm
they've been taken down. Some element of nature breaks down these railings.
Are you serious?
I swear to God, I kid you not. Please do your research on Flatbridge, Rio Cobre, Jamaica.
Listen, all
Okay?
the viewers, you hear talking.
Yep. So a lot of people have witnessed the fact that railings have been put on this bridge, and there's always a mysterious storm of some sort, or the water level rises for whatever reason, usually typically from a storm, and the railings are popped down every single time. Someone said women are so popular, it makes you wonder if God is really a woman. They lied about everything. I don't know.
That is funny.
It's comical though. That was funny. But yeah, I just wanted you guys to take a look. I mean, I don't believe everything I see and hear, but I do believe that things exist. I do believe that, God made man along with other beings. We're not here by ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Someone said, LOL, like God being a woman. I know they said, Alanis Morissette said, what if God was one of us? And they always said, maybe Alanis Morissette is God. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But
But I got a quick question for you, and I'm quite sure the viewers that's watching will want to know this. So the tell them where to go at to find the clip on the YouTube, and how many views did it have when you watched it? Do you remember?
like, well, there was one that I saw that had millions.
That's what I was gonna
Then
ask
there was
you.
another one that I said that had saw that had over 500,000 views. There's different clips, but all from this guy, as well as him showing how they placed the camera on a shark fin. And when the
Mhm.
shark was placed in the water, he
Mhm.
went deep sea, and you see something swimming, slender upper body, along with a tail. Again, I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
I
If
wish
you
I had
guys don't
the
believe it, take a
spooky
look for
noise
yourself.
right now, like the music right now playing. I should play it.
Someone says that they believe that sirens are demons, that they're not of God. Along with the light comes the dark. I went on to listen to another interview from what they call an Obio woman, who's probably just a spiritist, and
Mhm.
someone said they're demons that rule the waters. She went on to say that where there's darkness, there's light.
Yeah.
Mankind was made to rule Earth, and those elements were made to rule the water. So for people to think, if you guys are, if mankind is still deep sea diving to look for information, and get
Something's
familiar with
down
the
there. They
unknown,
know. They know
there's
something's
no
down there.
way you didn't come across this. It's virtually impossible for them to know that there's fish that are 2,000 feet below sea level in the abyss somewhere that have light bulbs on their head. If you guys could know that that stuff exists, then you have to know that this exists. You
Right.
have to know that. You have to know that if aliens exist, this exists. And again, I'm not here to pour conspiracy theory into people. It's more like conspiracy fact. I'm just being honest because I truly believe that we as mankind need to open our mind up to the fact that there's more out there than us. Respect it. And I think the bigger issue here is that the reason why they choose to hurt mankind is because there is very, very little respect and there's sacrifice involved.
Right.
There's sacrifice involved. We toss things in the water. We ruin things for ourselves. We poison the environment. Did you not think for a second there'd be something there to retaliate? Look at the sinking of Port Royal, Jamaica in the 1600s. A hub for cynicism and sex.
Mm.
Okay? Thousands of people murdered, piracy on a regular basis. Some men would land there and never return to their boats. Things happened in Port Royal. And then one day, God said,
Got a comment. Someone said preach.
one day God pulled the plug on Port Royal, Jamaica. He said, you guys will no longer land here. You guys will no longer commit sins here. You won't rape and pillage because it will be non-existent. Someone said there's other entities out there that exist. Oh, 100% I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it. I do believe it. So if you guys ever get an opportunity, please check out Source 90 on YouTube and type in Source 90 Mermaid. And then when you get an opportunity, also on YouTube, put in Flatbridge, Jamaica. Flatbridge folklore. You'll see it's not just folklore. These people are deathly afraid to go over that bridge. Some of these people, they know what's there. Okay, I've heard stories that the water when you drop in it's as deep as 5 feet, and then other people say that once you fall in, the water starts moving 100 miles an hour. How's that possible? It's not a fast-moving river unless something's pulling you. But I'm not here to put fear in you guys. I just wanted to share my thoughts on the subject. Shout out to Halle Bailey for her success on playing the Black Little Mermaid. We can't
Yeah.
wait to see it May 2023, along with
Gotta
Black
go out
Panther
and
2. I heard
support
it's
it.
dropping in November. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud of her, proud of that girl. But again, I'm a believer.
You
I'm
got
a
another comment
believer.
about your believing.
Someone said, let's say sirens are demons. Do we think that Lucy wouldn't let them run free with the anger that he has with God? I don't know. What I will tell you is this, that these things were put in place to keep things in line. There is literally a pattern, an order of operation, a pecking order that goes with being on a planet with other beings. And I think that mankind feels so superior to these other things that they lose sight of the fact that they have power too. Since we're getting deeper, Cello, would you happen to know what about the story of Yakub? Ah, that's a little bit deep for today. We're not going to do that right now.
Hmm.
Yeah, we're not going to do that tonight. I don't want to like push anyone away by constantly
Yeah.
talking about conspiracy theories, but
That would
yes,
have to
there's
be a
got to be
whole
a
different
balance.
episode. Like,
Right, there's give and take with anything. You know what I'm saying? Um, and I think again, like I said, mankind tends to believe they're superior to other beings because of the sense of technology and ability to find answers on a quick basis. But just because these things ain't doing research on us, that doesn't mean they can't hurt us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no fear, just thinking clear. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that today, but we will talk about that.
right.
Um, Someone says, where is there life if there's death? The balance is order is needed. Of course. Unfortunately, human sacrifice is what they look for, considering that they feel that they're always being sacrificed based on how we treat the environment. That's something to think about. When you think about the amount of plastic that's in water, the animals that are dying because of it, it's all a chain reaction. Don't think we're not upsetting anything or anyone, because Mother Nature is fucking tired of us.
You got another
Okay, that's why
comment.
global warming and climate change is such a big thing.
He said he knew you knew what that was.
I know a lot of things, man. I'm just here to share some thoughts. Just here to share some thoughts. Chella's way experience, man. Me and my girl Faith Adorn. You know what I'm saying? We just doing what we do.
And shout out to everyone that's commenting. We
Yeah,
appreciate that.
man. I
You
see a
guys
lot of
are going
activity. I'm
hard
loving it.
tonight.
I'm
We
loving
love
it.
it.
Yeah. It's so heartwarming to know that there's so many supporters out there that
Yes.
want to sit down and listen to talk radio or talk podcasting and appreciate the fact that we kind of delve into a little bit of the deeper side of the mind. I don't really care to talk about urban semantics. It doesn't serve me. And I don't think it serves anyone. I mean, I think people spend enough time listening to people talk about relationships and bad sex and bad friendship. I mean, you learn through experience, though. That's your best teacher.
No, you have the
I mean,
best followers right now because every episode since you launch, everyone comments. So they appreciate the video podcast. They
mm-hmm,
appreciate the
mm-hmm.
audio podcast. They
Listen,
appreciate Chella's Way experience. They love it.
I just want to say shout out to my core system out there, my friends. They kind of they fuel me to keep going, and it's so beautiful because like when my friends are tuned in, there's nothing more heartwarming than knowing that you have a solid support system like that. They're like, nah, yo, you gotta keep going, keep going, keep going. It's
That is
beautiful. It's
important.
beautiful. And to know that, yes, I do believe that God is putting me in line with something greater and I got people to share it with. Oh, fucking
Amen.
awesome. Fucking awesome.
That
Okay,
is
can't wait. Yacht parties every night.
right.
It's like, oh my God. So we're just gonna end it off because I want to talk one more. We got one more thing to chat about. So I don't know if you guys saw on one of the blogs, they posted that the University of Kansas has a subject called angry white male studies.
Yes. There you
Yeah,
go.
angry white male studies. Now, you guys, if you get a chance, Google it and read. It's just a quick um, explanation on what the course is about.
And shout out to
Um,
Hollywood Unlocked. They covered it too.
yeah, a lot of white males are really upset about this. And it says, this course charts the rise of the angry white male in America and Britain since the 1950s, exploring the deeper sources of this emotional state while evaluating recent manifestations of male anger. Employing interdisciplinary perspectives, this course examines how both dominant and subordinate masculinities are represented and experienced in cultures undergoing periods of rapid change connected to modernity. I'm drinking, guys. Cut me some slack. Modernity, as well as the rights to base movements of women, people of color, homosexuals, and trans individuals. Thank you, Justin. So this is comical because they have black studies, all this stuff, African American studies, Latin studies. You know what I'm saying? And oh, thank you, Octavia Jackson. You are active, and I gotta,
Yes. Every like yes.
yeah, active. I love the activity on here because the fact that you guys are active, you guys are involved, you guys are doing what you do, and it's beautiful. So, long story short, I just wanted to say that I feel like this study is completely necessary. Because if you guys could study Black people and Hispanic people like frozen cave people, then we can study you. It's that time now where we're trying to understand the complex here. And I think it's a conqueror complex. I think white men tend to think most of the time because of history teaching them how they were able to become slave owners and then carry on from that into higher positions because of the fact that they knew they had this superiority thing going on. And now that you don't have that power anymore, it's got to make you angry, right? That's why you spew so much hate. That's why you guys go and say the worst things and do the worst things. You guys talk about Black people, but you guys got your own set of issues.
And there's
Um,
enough land that all of us can just live together and just
yeah,
like
yeah, but
be
but again, it
peaceful to
makes
each
them
other.
angry. And
Yeah.
in today's example of it would be just exactly what they did to Halle Bailey. Even though that was men and women, but just let's separate the women for a second
That
and just
shows
make it
once
about men.
again.
Look at how those men attacked that young woman for being a Black Little Mermaid. That's a clear-cut example of angry white male. They don't get their way. They can't control the scenario. So the first thing they do is they start spewing hate. That course is very necessary, and it's a 3 point course.
One and just look, 1.5 million dislikes.
Yeah, dislikes, man, man. You know, it just goes to show 1.5 million racist people out there. You know, we know it's more than that, but they had an opportunity to express it, and they sure fucking did. They sure fucking did. And then I'm gonna end with that cop that went on TikTok to kind of flex, you know, her
Oh,
ability
the
to.
yeah, I think they she
Yeah, she got
got laid
suspended.
off. Yeah, suspended.
Hmm.
I was just like, why is everyone
A
like,
cop
why
in
are you
Washington,
so
female white
evil?
cop.
Like, what's going on?
She said she kept saying, "Oh, I have the ability to follow you and make up reasons to pull you over. I can do mine 90 miles an hour, but you can't." Clearly, no one should. Because what if you like 90 miles an hour, you fucking hit a rock, bitch, you tip over. So if you feel like, you know, you want to do 90, go right ahead. Hopefully nobody jumps in the road. You know, that was some bullshit, but just another stain on the relationship between cops and civilians. That is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Um, I just I can't express enough disdain for some of these things that I see and hear. Uh, it's so sad. But again, you know, if you guys get an opportunity, take a look at that course. Maybe you want to go to the University of Kansas and take it, just so you can get a better understanding. So imagine arguing with a white man who's just like calling you all these names. It's like, I know why you're mad. You feel powerless. I
Right.
understand. But you know, with that being said, we're gonna conclude the Chela's Way experience. This is episode 5. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you to me for being here. Thank you to Faith for being here. Thank you to all my guests for being here. I'm glad we all made time tonight to share our thoughts. And I'll see you guys next week, episode 5.